Welcome back, Storm fans. I am Bryant Cook, and today we're playing modern NeoBrand with a brand new card from Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. I am talking about Elven Farsight. It is a 1-green sorcery scry 3, and then you may reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, draw a card. Okay, why is this good? Well, our deck operates by needing a ton of green cards. For Allosaurus Rider in particular, which requires 2 green cards to alternatively cast it. And then we need green cards for Nourishing Shoal. In this list in particular, we win by... Actually, let's just start with how the deck wins in general. So we play Allosaurus Rider for its alternative mana cost, which is exiling 2 green cards. We cast Neoform, and then we get Griselbrand. We then cast Nourishing Shoal, exiling Autochthon Wurm, and we gain 15. We draw over and over again. Eventually, we cast Endurance after we gut-shot our opponent 3 times. And at that point, you want to create a pile. And your pile is going to be 3 gut shots, 3 Nourishing Shoals, and Endurance. You do this over and over and over again until your opponent's dead. So you need a lot of green cards in your deck for both Endurance, the Nourishing Shoals, and Allosaurus Rider. And Elven Farsight is a green card that helps us do that. So I'm really interested in Elven Farsight for that reason. And in the past, we've played things like Serum Visions in that slot, but Serum Visions isn't a green card. So we've also tried Manamorphose. Manamorphose is a replacement effect, but it doesn't actually help you find your combo at all. What it really does is it allows you to beat Blood Moon, and that's nice, but a lot of the times with this deck, we're just looking for consistency rather than beating Blood Moon. And I believe that Elven Farsight has provided that consistency. In the past, we've played things like Reason to Believe, which is from Hour of Devastation. That is a 1 blue instant scry 3, and then Believe is a 5 mana sorcery, I believe. And you can reveal the top card of your deck if it's a creature, put it into play. So Elven Farsight is very similar to that card, except it has the upside of being able to draw a card. We have 15 creatures in our deck, so that means that we have 25% of our deck is creatures, and with 3 looks at that, we're pretty likely to hit one. It won't happen all the time, but more often than not, we'll hit a creature, so Elven Farsight helps us with that. And that is really the draw to this build today, is the Elven Farsight, and pretty excited. I did play a couple practice leagues with different lists, trying to find the right one. I played one with Thrasta, the dinosaur, and I don't think you're actually allowed to play non-gut-shot lists anymore. One thing that I learned while playing leagues was that Orcish Bowmaster is entering Modern, and I ran into it a whole bunch. It's not in any like super top-tier decks yet. I did face it out of Rakdos Scam a few times, but it's seeing a lot of play, and the other builds really struggle to beat Orcish Bowmaster. So today we're looking to, win using Gut Shot with beating the Orcish Bowmasters. I can't talk today, please forgive me. It's been a long day already. That's pretty much my deck list. In the sideboard, we have Force of Vigor because you can use it on your opponent's turn. Our entire combo is instant speed after you get Griselbrand into play. So you can cast Summoner's Pact, Pact of Negation your opponent's counterspell, put Griselbrand into play, draw 14, Force of Vigor your opponent's Leyline of Sanctity or Leyline of the Void, whatever you need to do. And then from there, Gutshot's an instant, Nourishing Shoal's an instant, and you can flash and Endurance at instant speed as well. So Force of Vigor ends up being very good in this deck. We have Veil of Summer to help protect us, Leyline of Sanctity against burn and discard, Pact of Negation for blue matchups, Beseju's just additional removal that isn't Force of Vigor, and then a 1 of Colossal Sky Turtle that we can find with our Summoner's Pact. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, like, comment, subscribe. I really do mean that. Our subscriber rates have been a little bit down recently, so if you like the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'm done rambling now. Hopefully I'll learn to talk as we play matches. I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw. We've opened up our Rider, but no lands. We do have a Chancellor of the Tangle, if it ever lets me zoom in, but our payoff here is an Eldritch Evolution, so we're really far away from that. We are forced to mulligan. This is a turn 2, so we'll keep this bottom Griselbrand, and let's see what we can do here. Breeding Pool, okay. Living End. A deck with Force of Negation, not what we wanted to pair into. Okay. Pass the turn. So we need to hope that for whatever reason our opponent doesn't have a Force of Negation and doesn't have a Grief here. They must be looking for lands. Okay, they're down to 16. And another Street Wraith down to 14. They do not have any lands. Our best draw here is probably Pact of Negation. A Worm. So I can try to win here, or I can wait. I don't think it's actually getting any better for us, so I'm going to jam. The question is, what do you exile, the Worm or the Shoal? We have 3 Worms in this list, so I'm going to keep the extra Shoal, just to make sure that if we are lucky enough to win, or lucky enough to resolve Neoform, that we're more likely to win. Alright, Neoform on the stack. I don't like this pause. They do have a Force of Negation. That is likely going to be the game. They cycle a Curator of Mysteries. Still no land for them. You draw another Shoal, and we'll pass the turn. So something you could do in this matchup, assuming that you know that you're facing Living End, is keeping a 7 or a 6 that has Griselbrand in it and just intentionally drawing and discarding until Griselbrand hits the graveyard. Our opponent passes. Draw. We do have 2 Endurance in our main deck. We haven't seen one yet. Another Shoal. Brutal. They cycle a Jenner's Ent. So they did not find land 3. Theoretically, I mean, it's unlikely, but it's a possibility, is that we draw into Neoform after they Living End, so we have a Rider in play, and they don't have a Force of Negation. I mean, it could happen. Probably not when they have an Architects of Will, but yeah, it seems very unlikely. So I guess we would need to draw a draw a Neoform and then for them to Living End. Pass the turn. They cycle Street Wraith. I guess the Summoner's Pact is a reasonable draw, because if they now Architects me, I can shuffle my deck and give me a chance of drawing one of my 3 Neoforms. They cycle the Elephant, grabbing a Steam Vents. Shardless Agent. That's a Living End. So I could have used Summoner's Pact to go grab Endurance, but that's not a good way to lose the game. They do target me with Architects of Will. Alright, they're still deciding. Alright, so our opponent has finished resolving all their triggers. And in our upkeep, we will cast Summoner's Pact. It's our only shot at winning the game. So we will attempt to shuffle our deck here. And they have another Force of Negation. Okay, so that's the game. We'll go to game 2. I do like Veil of Summer in this matchup. I think it's quite good. I also like Pact of Negation. That brings us up to 66 cards, though. Unfortunately, I do think Elven Farsight is the card that gets boarded out here. Even before we added it in, that slot was often the first thing sided out because everything else in the deck is so crucial, and Abundant Harvest guarantees land drops, which Elven Farsight doesn't do. We're already a low land count deck, and I think it's just right to board this card out. So now we need 2 more. I think you can get away with 2 less Chancellors. Being the turn 1 deck isn't super important in this matchup. I do think Colossal Sky Turtle is actually kind of fine as well. So you could board out the Chancellors. Like, I just don't think they're great, and Sky Turtle is a high mana value card, which is ultimately relevant for the Shoal. And then maybe I could bring in like one Force of Vigor or one Beseiju. I'm going to do one Force of Vigor, I think. Let's try this out. Yes, I would like to be on the play. So this is a turn 2, assuming that they don't have Force or Grief. I'll keep. Play the Sanctum, pass the turn. They play and activate a Wooded Foothills. And they're passing. So another card we have to worry about now is Subtlety. So they have Subtlety, Force of Negation, and Grief. They didn't have Grief on their turn, but they could have a Subtlety or a Force here. In our upkeep, they are cycling an Elephant. Okay. We'll draw. Endurance. I'm going to go for it. Play the Rider. Blue, green, Neoform. You don't have it. You don't have it. Come on. Boo. Boo. Alright, not ideal. Our best draw just became a green card for this Endurance. Alright, so they played a Steam Vents past the turn. We found a green card. On our end step, they discard Waker of Waves. Alright, do you have a Living End? They're tapping mana. Shardless Agent. So we're going to wait for them to put the Living End on the stack. They boarded in Mystical Dispute, and now we'll respond with an Endurance. They have 4 cards in hand. They have Subtlety and Force of Negation, so that's brutal. So my Endurance is hit by Subtlety. We'll put it on the bottom. I don't want to redraw Endurance. So realistically, how I win this game now is that I draw into Neoform pretty much right now. We have 3 in the deck. It's not a very likely thing to occur. We might have been able to win the game if they didn't have the Subtlety there, because then we'd have 2 creatures in play versus their Shardless Agent. Neoform? Nope. Pass the turn. They attack, they trigger their Elephant. They're supposed to target the Shardless Agent, because that means that I can't block it, and then they are presenting lethal. So I'm just dead. There's no avenue to victory here. This is 10, this is 10, so that's 20, I'm at 20, and if I block, I lose the game anyway. So we have lost match number 1, kind of a tough hit here. We ran into a Force of Negation deck. We had 2 turn 2 wins, not good enough due to Force of Negation. Kind of a bummer. That's Magic sometimes. Let's try to win match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Alright, match number 2, we're on the draw. We've opened up a hand that has cards and lands, but not really, it doesn't do anything meaningful. We don't have a Rider, and we don't have a Neoform. Therefore, we do not keep. We will mulligan. Alright, so we have, this is a turn 1. Hey, I like turn 1s. Keep. We will bottom Endurance. I don't know if I've ever had a turn 1 using Eldritch Evolution, but I'm here for it. Come on, just basic plains pass. I guess that could also be like Mana Tithe. I don't know. Basic mountain pass. Alright, basic plains. Champion of the Parish. You know, good enough. Turn 1. Triggers. I do enjoy a good turn 1 win. Let's go get our Allosaurus Rider. We will cast the Rider, exiling Elven Farsight and a Chancellor. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we need all of our expensive cards to exile to Shoals later, so you'd rather keep the 7-drop than, you know, a 1-mana spell. Okay, and now we use the Shoal. We exile the Worm. Look what happens when our opponent isn't playing Force of Negation. It's wild. Let's draw some more cards. Alright, so we want to make our deck a multiple of 7, so let's search. Draw 7 more. We're at 7 life. We need another card that gains life here. Alright, and then we hit. We actually hit 3 of them. We'll exile another Shoal. Well, I guess we'll cast another Shoal, exiling a Worm. Let's draw 7. 15 cards currently in our deck. Let's cast a Summoner's Pact. We'll grab another Rider. We will cast Shoal, exiling Worm. So much life. And now we will draw the rest of our deck. Okay, so now is the point in the game that you want to create your pseudo doomsday pile. Let's sacrifice our land. We need to get up to 14 cards in graveyard. We will gut shot them. And this is how we win. I'll go through a couple loops with you, and then I'll kind of just be quiet and click silently. Alright, so now we start exiling cards that cost 7, because I believe we've already exiled all of our other things. Gut shot them. So that brings us to 12 cards in graveyard. I could use a couple more. Although I don't know if I have anything else I can cast that isn't Endurance. I have 1 Summoner's Pact that gets me up to 13. That's actually perfect. Oh no, we don't have a deck. What a shame. Alright, and now we will Endurance, exiling a 1 mana value spell. We will target ourselves with the Endurance trigger first, because then the sacrifice happens first. So the Endurance goes to our graveyard. We shuffle in our graveyard now. We have 14 cards. Oh, that's crazy. I can draw 14 cards. That's so wild. I never even thought of that. Alright, we're at 5 life. And now we'll go to the end. Look at that, 4 Nourishing Shoal. Let's exile some spells that cost 7 to gain life. Okay, so we've done that 3 times. We go up to 21, or I'm sorry, 26 apparently. And then we'll gut shot them 3 times. Okay. We will now cast Endurance, exiling one of these Summoner's Packs since they have literal no mana value. And now we've created our Doomsday pile. And Doomsday is a legacy card where you stack cards and win the game. It's just why it's referenced that way. So, you have now seen the loop. I'm going to now sit awkwardly in silence until we lower our opponent's life total enough where I feel like it's worth talking again. Pew pew! See you in a second. Okay, so our opponent's currently at 4. I have 1 more loop to do here, and then our opponent will be dead-zo. And I just figure that maybe you would like to see 1 more loop. If you're not interested, you can always skip ahead. That's how YouTube works, and it's wonderful. So, deal with it or skip ahead. I don't care. So, we'll cast this Endurance, exiling Abundant Harvest. Target ourselves 1 more time. And as you can see, we have plenty of life, thanks to playing 3 worms and all of those 7 drops. Alright, draw 7. Our opponent's at 2. Let's kill Champion of the Parish to send a message. Okay. And that is game number 1. Take that, humans. Alright, so we probably don't need Pact Negation against humans. Colossal Sky Turtle seems great. But I don't mind boarding up on lands. Could also use Force of Vigor, I suppose. So these are just cards we're somewhat interested in. That brings us up to 63. I don't mind boarding out a Turn Timber if I'm boarding in the Colossal Sky Turtle. They sort of balance each other out. And then I think that you could probably shave a few other lands. Like the Humans deck isn't a deck that plays anything that makes us care about Breeding Pool, so that can be boarded out. And then I'm going to board out 1 more Turn Timber Symbiosis, because we boarded up lands, and then we boarded in 2 copies of Force of Vigor. So we actually did add some mana value to the deck to replace it anyway. So I think that actually balances it out fine. Basically, when you're sideboarding with the Gut Shot variant of this deck, you just have to keep your deck's overall mana value in mind. And that's what I'm doing here. We are on the draw for game number 2. We've opened up a potential turn 1. And I say potential because nothing here is guaranteed. So we have double Chancellor of the Tangle once again. We have access to Allosaurus Rider via Summoner's Pact. What we don't have is a Neoform effect. So we have 4 Neoform, 4 Eldritch Evolution. We have 8 hits out of 53 cards, and we get a redraw with this Abundant Harvest. So if we name non-land hit Neoform, that will still give us a turn 1. So, actually, will it? Yeah, because the other Chancellor gives us a green. I guess I would need to draw a blue land for that to be the case, but I still think this hand is probably fine. We'll keep. Okay. A pair of Chancellors have been revealed. Come on, deck. Please give me a Neoform effect. Turn 1 Plains, Pythian. You got it. Come on. Gemstone. Alright, so we have one random look here at a Neoform off of Abundant Harvest. Harvest. Non-land. Okay, so, I mean, we have a turn 3 now. We'll play turn Timber. No, I don't want to hurt myself. Abundant Harvest, and we'll say land. We picked up a Boseiju. Mox Amber, okay. Trying to see what I revealed here. Sure. You can have an Adeline. This does deal us a lot of damage very quickly. But it doesn't stop us from trying to win the game, which is ultimately all I care about. So we're at 17. Another Summoner's Pact. Okay. Esper Sentinel is fine. Values Lieutenant is a lot of damage here. So that's 11 in play plus 1/1s. I might just be dead. Let's see. And 12? It's not looking good for the home team at the moment. Okay, we're eating a lot of damage with my face. I go to 4. They use Gideon's ability. Alright, so we need to win from 4 life. We find Neoform. So that saves us some mana, but ultimately I don't think it's super important because mana wasn't the choke point here. We'll cast the Summoner's Pact. I'm trying to think if there's any reason. Oh, it's a 2/2, so I'm not going to pay there. Let's go grab our Rider. We will cast the Rider, exiling Evolution Chancellor. And then we will Neoform, grab the Demon, Summoner's Pact. Now we'll go get a Worm, gained 15. The top 14 need to be good enough for us to win the game now. Draw 7. Okay, that was a very good start. Gain 15. Play a land. Draw 7. Orb is also good. Draw 7. Draw 7. Exile. Let's just... I need to win in 13 minutes. This deck does take a little bit to win. And, I don't know. Like, let's just get the show on the road. We have 10 cards in our graveyard. Let's draw. Draw. So now we have 3 cards in our graveyard. Or not our deck, and 10 in our graveyard. So Endurance would be an even 14. So let's exile one of these. Endurance ourselves. Now we have 14. Sacrifice some lands. We'll gain life. I guess I should thin here to increase my odds of hitting a shoal. Alright, so there's 4 shoals in our deck. Making sure I don't have any more Summoner's Pact. Okay, draw 7. Alright, we hit some. Exile, gain 15. And at this point, it's just clicking. Alright, so 5 plus 6 is 11. We need to get some more cards in the graveyard. We can start shooting them. Now we'll Endurance, exile a Harvest. Target ourselves. Now we can draw 14. Alright, so we've officially cleared our deck. And at this point, it is just the loop that we have to click a whole bunch, so I am going to go back to sitting in awkward silence. I'll see you in a few seconds. Alright, we've executed the loop a whole bunch, and now we're doing the final pings on our opponent. Pew pew! Alright, so we have won a match. We are officially 1-1. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's see if we can go get some more match wins. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by the theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match 3 on the play, we will keep. This hand is lacking a Neoform effect, but we do have this Elven Farsight. I believe this will be the first time we cast it this league, so let's see if we can get a little bit of extra value out of it. The Chancellor triggers. Elven Farsight. Alright, so we can make it replace itself with the Wurm. We'll bottom the Summoner's Pact. And I think we want to keep the other one, so yeah, I mean, Green Ponder here. Yes. Play a Gemstone Mine past the turn. So you might be saying, why not play the Turntimber Symbiosis tapped? That's a choice you can make, but it is a green card currently for the Rider, and we don't really have a whole lot of other spare green cards at the moment. Opponent plays a Misty Rainforest for Watery Grave. Uh-oh. Our deck is not good against Mill. A lot of surgical extractions. Okay. Elven Farsight. We'll bottom. Keep the Wurm. Play our land. Pass. Uh-oh. And they hit our third Wurm, so if they have a surgical extraction, they can rip 2 out of my hand. Yikes. They fetch and mill 3 more. A Gut Shot, Summoner's Pact, and a land. So no Neoform there. They did mill over 1 evolution. Take a draw. I'll take a damage. Abundant Harvest. Non-land. Summoner's Pact. Okay, I'm going to play the Turntimber now because next turn I can sacrifice the Waterlogged to Grove to try to draw into something. Maybe I was supposed to... I could have tapped the Gemstone Mine for the Harvest. I don't know. Maybe that was the wrong land usage that turn. Ooh, we don't have basics, so that Field of Ruin pretty good. Okay. We draw the Demon. Not ideal. I think I'm going to just pass here. They go after my Gemstone. I mean, am I supposed to sacrifice the Waterlogged to Grove? Because then if I find a Neoform, I need to find a land too. No, I think we're supposed to just let it die. We mill double Neoform. That's brutal. They play a Hedron Crab. I believe they're probably just holding open Drown in the Lock, and I've already lost, but we need to make them prove it. Abundant Harvest. Non-land. Another Chancellor. Alright, I'm going to put his Player Rider. If it gets hit by Drown in the Lock, it's not the end of the world. Okay. They play a third Crab. We find a land. Ouch. Pass. They draw 1 card with Visions of Beyond. We'll draw with the Waterlogged Grove. Well, we find a replacement land. We have to pass. Our opponent's just passing with 7 cards in hand. Abundant Harvest. Non-land. We have shots. So now they just drew 3. I'm probably dead. That's the 3rd Neoform and the Griselbrand. Okay, I'm good to call it. So we lost game number 1 to Mill. Not a good matchup for us. I do like Pact of Negation, Veil of Summer, and then our Force of Vigors and Besagus. Take out the Breeding Pool and a Sanctum. Take out a couple copies of Turntimber. Actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. This is a matchup I don't hate boarding out Chancellors, but it does allow me to race. Probably take out... The Scrying is actually really bad against them, so we can get rid of Elven Farsight. Alright, I'm going to submit this. Wayland of Sanctity actually isn't super good against them because a lot of their mill spells say each opponent or things like that. This is a turn 2 with Pack backup. That's pretty darn good. We'll keep. Gemstone Mine, pass the turn. Misty Rainforest. Let's see a Crab. Turn 1 Crab. Turn 1 Crab. You got it. And another Pact. Okay. Rider, exile Veil, exile the Turntimber Symbiosis. Blue. Green. Neoform. Grab the Demon. Draw 7. Draw 7. We're at 6. I did not hit a shoal, so I'm going to have to pass the turn, but before we do, I can put another rider into play. And I guess we can kill their crab as well. I mean, I'll go to 2 life, but discard Griselbrand, Neoform, Abundant Harvest, and a Pact. I guess the downside of me activating a second time is that Drown in the Lock kills my Griselbrand. Extirpate on Neoform. Yeah. Our opponent activates Misty Rainforest. Soul Guide Lantern. Sure. Okay. Let's gain 15. Activate and draw 7. Land for turn. Gain 15 more. Swing for 12. This makes my life a little bit easier here. Draw. We'll gain 15 more. Let's draw the rest of our deck. Hang them. And now we can endurance ourselves. I'm trying to bait out to see if they have surgical right now because I can't beat 2. I guess I could beat 2 pieces. I have Pact and Negation in hand. And now they're targeting with the Soul Guide Lantern. We will endurance again. And now we will shuffle in our graveyard. And the opponent concedes. So we stole game number 2 with a very good draw. If you wanted to, you could board back in Chancellors for game 3, hoping for another explosive start. But I think we just want consistency here, and I'm going to choose to leave the deck list like it is. Game number 3, we've opened up a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep this. They've taken a mulligan. Turn 1 Watery Grave into Soul Guide Lantern. That's fine. Gut Shot was not an ideal draw for us. We'll play out Beseiju past the turn. Hedron Crab. I could Veil of Summer this, but then they can Delta and then, I don't know. Maybe I should just do it anyway. Like reduce the number of surgical targets. Harvest Beseiju Evolution. I do have an evolution in hand. We did not draw a blue land or a rider. Draw for turn. Another evolution. That's not good for us. Looks like our opponent's just passing here. Draw a shoal. I think I just need to... I mean, discarding here doesn't help. I'm just going to gain 15 life. Pass back. They cast a Visions of Beyond. They find a land. And it's Field of Ruin, so they could theoretically cut me off. I mean, I guess they're not cutting me off because I don't have a blue land anyway. They did mill a Rider and a Summoner's Pact. We drew Griselbrand. Our draw steps have not been fortunate. Okay. They Archive Trap me. I'm probably just dead. Another Archive Trap, yep. So I can't win unless I endurance myself now. And they have a Soul Guide. I have 13. Do I even have 2 endurance left? 1. Both endurances are gone. I'm dead. Alright, so we got absolutely demolished by Mill. This has always been a tough matchup. I'm not surprised. We are 1-2. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Let's try to bounce back. We're in the 4th match, and we're on the play. So we have double Chancellor, and that's it. I mean, I guess we could hardcast turn 1 Endurance, but that's not good enough. Mulligan. Alright, so we have Chancellor, Neoform, Pact, no land. This could have been a turn 1. We just needed a land. We're going to 5. Alright, so keep, we're going to bottom a pair of shoals because we don't want to exile those. So we have everything we need here. I just need 1 more land. Ouch. 17, Abundant Harvest, we'll say land. So now a Neoform or another land are theoretical wins. Blooming Marsh, Ignoble Hierarch. So we're likely facing the Yawgmoth deck. And there's our land. Okay. Oh, I guess I need to draw a green card. Okay, so our next card needs to be a green card. We do need that in order to win. Young Wolf, sure thing. Delighted Halfling. And another Young Wolf. Draw. Okay, so it is a little awkward that we're exiling Endurance and a 7-drop, but having a demon in play is much better than not having a demon in play, so we'll see what we can do here. Goodbye, Rider. Hey, Griselbrand, what's up? Draw 7. Not bad for a mulligan to 5. Okay, so I did not hit a Nourishing Shoal. I'll try again. This brings me down to 3, though. We hit Orb and a Shoal, so we should be able to win from here. Exile the Worm. Okay, let's draw. We had another Shoal. So at this point, I believe we've won. I'm going to try to make our deck a multiple of 7. Do we have another Summoner's Pact in here? We don't. Need 15 more. Draw 7. There's a Pact. Grab the other Worm. Draw 7. Draw 7. Okay. Draw 7. We now have an empty deck. At this point, we just want to fill up our graveyard and Endurance for 14 and then win. Phew! Okay. That's 10. I guess I'll sacrifice lands here. Alright, so that's 13 cards in graveyard. Where's my Endurance? There you are. And I exiled an Endurance earlier to my Rider, so I need to make sure not to misclick. Always click the ability first in this deck. You want to sacrifice first. Control for Days would not like this game. If you're unfamiliar, Control for Days is another wonderful YouTuber and a good friend of mine, Brandon Osborne. And Brandon's favorite modern deck is Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth stand for life. Okay. Gaining some life. And now we'll Endurance, exiling a Summoner's Pact, I guess. Alright, we're back at the point where I'm going to be quiet, so that way you just get to see the end of the game. Our opponent saw the writing on the wall and conceded. That was very nice of them. Now we can go to game 2. This is a matchup where I absolutely love Leyline of Sanctity. It stops their Thought Seizes. If for some reason they want to Endurance me, it would stop that. Necromensch is a card that sometimes sees play, so these just seem great to me. We'll board out our Pact of Negations. I think we probably want Veil of Summer. In case we don't open up with a Leyline, they end up being fairly good. We'll take out the Elven Farsights. Once again, I know that this video, this is the marquee card, this is the new card, but it is just the right card to board out in a lot of matchups. So we're at 62 before I've even boarded in a Force of Vigor or a Beseiju. Looking at some recent lists, it looks like there's not a good reason to board in either of those. I could board in Colossal Sky Turtle. That's a choice we can make. Although I don't think it's necessarily one we want to make. So I think we're going to keep those in the board. We do need to find 2 more cards to board out here, though. Maybe just double Chancellor. Or, what if I just board out double Abundant Harvest and keep my count high? Because I'm not boarding in the Force of Vigors or the Turtles. So this way I'm keeping my mana value up. That's probably the right move. Let's try this. Game 2. So we've opened up with a Rider, 1 land, and Evolution. I think that this hand is kind of just a trap. We'll send it back. Alright, so this seems magnificent. This could be a turn 1 if we draw into a blue land. I'm down with that. Keep bottom the Veil of Summer. Actually, let's bottom the Evolution. Leyline and Chancellor of the Tangle. Any blue land off the top is a turn 1 win. We have 11 blue lands on our deck, so 11 out of 54. Come on, deck, don't let me down. Draw. Ah, that was not good. We're going to play our land tapped, pass the turn. So I could play it untapped and try to draw with Veil of Summer. I think I can just do that next turn. Because, like, what black cards are they casting on turn 3? Like, I guess Grist, but they're more likely to play a black card next turn. So I'd rather just save myself 3 damage. Alright, blue land. It's a blue land next turn. Abundant Harvest. Land. We'll pass. The One Ring. Okay, so I'm not allowed to kill them on my turn. I can kill them on their turn, though. So, once again, in the deck tech, I mentioned how our deck can win at instant speed. This is a good example of that. This is going to be fun. Okay, so Allosaurus Rider, we will exile Veil of Summer and Summoner's Pact. Ouch! We go to 18 off of the Waterlogged Grove, sacrificing the Rider. Griselbrand. Pass the turn. So they will lose 1 life off their One Ring. Alright, we're going to respond to this draw and kill them. Or at least I hope we will. Draw 7. That was not particularly good. We could draw 7 more. Look for that Nourishing Shoal. We're at 4 life. We did not hit. We have to pass. Well, we have to allow them to do whatever, I guess I should say. They tap for a black. We're going to respond to the Grist and kill the Ignoble Hierarch. I go to 2 life. Grist resolves. If they have another creature here, they can kill my Griselbrand. Alright, so I can oh, I can't because I'm at 2. Yeah. That is annoying. Goodbye, demon. Draw. Player land. Play out a Rider, exiling Abundant Harvest and Evolution. Neoform again. Alright, second demon. Let's go to cleanup. We can discard Leyline of Sanctities, this Botanical Sanctum, that Botanical Sanctum. They'll draw some cards with the One Ring. Another Grist and another creature here. Okay, so Grist number 2 would be very good for them. They gain a life using Essence Warden, Young Wolf, Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. Draw for turn. Zuran Orb. I have 1,000,000 lands in play, so that's not bad. Attack them for 8. They go to 10, we go to 10. We'll go back down to 3. Is this a cord for... Oh, they're trying to get Bowmaster here. I mean, I could just respond to the Bowmaster. Let's draw a card. Actually, cancel that. Alright, we're going to sacrifice our lands. I mean, I think we can beat Bowmaster with the trigger on the stack anyway. So we're at 11. Let's draw 7 more. So I'm at 4. Alright, exile Wurm. Okay. Exile another Wurm. Draw. Draw. We'll exile another Wurm, just gaining a ton. And now we'll Endurance, exile Summoner's Pact, target ourselves. So I guess we should thin a little? I don't know. So this makes our deck a multiple of 7. We'll draw. Okay, and now we can start to win the game. Ping them. Gain some life. Alright, so I'm just going to get my deck back down to 7. Because these Summoner's Pacts are kind of messing it up right now. We'll draw, and now I can just do the normal pile and win. And our opponent has conceded, so we have won the match. We are officially 2-2. Let's go get match number 5 and finish with a positive record. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting your own Magic events with features such as easy-to-create event registration for 4-player and one-on-one Swiss-based games. Event management has never been so simple, and it's done on the web, no downloads are required. You can sign up for $5 by visiting eminence.events/subscribe. The final match of the league, we're on the play. Chancellor, nothing. Mulligan. Okay, so this hand's actually fairly good. We just have to find a Rider, and we have double Elven Farsight to help with that. Okay, so let's preserve our life points a little bit and tap the Gemstone Mine. Elven Farsight. So we can take a Chancellor of the Tangle to replace. I mean, replacing is better than nothing, I think. Definitely going to bottom the Turn Timber. And I don't think I want the Pact of Negation. We don't know if our opponent's playing blue or not. We'll pass. Marsh Flats. Okay. Rakdos. Alright, Neoform off the top, or I'm sorry, Rider off the top row, please. Not quite. Let's Elven Farsight. Okay, so we don't want this. I don't think we want the endurance, and I guess we'll draw the worm. Yes. Play the grove. Ouch. Abundant harvest, and we'll say Nounland. Alright, so we've seen a lot of cards this game and have not found one of our Riders or Summoners packs. Ragavan connects. We'll take 2 going down to 17. They exile a Botanical Sanctum. And they're passing. Come on, deck. Nope. Okay, we have to pass. Ragavan connects again. We go to 15. They hit a Summoner's Pact. Brutal. They have Grief. Okay. Neoform down. So now we're multiple pieces away. They have Undying Malice, so the Grief will hit again. And they take a Nourishing Shoal. Okay, replacement Neoform. Let's see if now we can draw into a Rider. How crazy of an ask would that be? So they're attacking for 6, which would put me to 9. They hit an Evolution. They can actually cast that. So they could like trade their Ragavan for a Dothy Voidwalker. I mean, they don't know this, but my list actually can't beat a Dothy Voidwalker. Another Grief. Alright, I'm going to call it here. Alright, take the Pact of Negations out. We want Ley Lines. Veil of Summer. Turtle. I think we just take out the Elven Farsights. Some Abundant Harvest. Boarding out 1 Chancellor of the Tangle for the Turtle, I think. I'm going to board in some Besajus just in case, I think. Like, they might have Leyline of the Void. Who knows if they'll actually board it in, but if they do, I want an answer to it instead of just being cold. On the play, and we've opened up a turn 1. Keep. Chancellor of the Tangle. We'll add a green. Summoner's Pact. Grab a Rider. Cast the Rider, exiling these 2. Blue. Neoform. Demon. Draw 7. Draw 7. Let's search. Go get a worm. Go get a worm. And now our deck is a multiple of 7. Nourishing Shoal, exiling worm. Exile another worm. Okay. Draw some cards. We are now at 1 life with no deck. And our opponent concedes. Thank you for not making me click. I do appreciate that. Okay, so now game 3, we're on the draw. No changes. Resubmit. That's a 2 turn 1s we've had in this video. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, so here, yeah, we have Neoform, but like, this is not great. Like, I really would like a Leyline on the draw in game 3. This is double Rider. Is that good enough versus a turn 1 discard spell? We'd have to rip Neoform. I think we keep this in bottom of land. Yeah, okay. We don't have the Leyline. I think this is worth keeping. Like, mulliganing to 5, you might not even hit the Leyline anyway. We have turn 1 Ragavan. Come on. Let's go. No Grief. Alright, Neoform. Nope. Gemstone, pass. They play a Bloodstained Mire, they attack. They hit a Rider. I mean, we don't need that, so that's ultimately okay. Neoform? Nope. Right, I'm going to play the Grove, because next turn I could play the Turn Timber as a land, so this gives us 2 opportunities at finding Neoform. Our opponent attacks again, we'll fall to 16. Ragavan triggers. Turn Timber Symbiosis. Didn't want that anyway. Seasoned Pyromancer, sure. Discards Feign Death and a Ragavan. And they're passing, so we can activate the Waterlog to Grove. Draw a card. Gut Shot. Okay. Draw. Besaju. We'll play the Besaju and pass the turn. So we now have 3 mana, which means that we don't need necessarily Neoform. Eldritch Evolution is also a great draw at any point. They play a Castle Lochthwain. We'll tap the Gemstone and cast Gut Shot for mana. You don't do that every day. They Feign Death the Ragavan. Okay. 3 cards in hand. I'll take 4 down to 12. On deck, pretty please. No. No is the answer. I've been pretty patient. I feel like we probably should have found one of those effects by now. Our opponent activates the castle and loses 4 life. Now they're attacking for 7 and I'm going to 5. So things are looking a little dicey because we need life in order to win the game. Leyline of Sanctity. That's a hard cast Grief. Sure, take your pick. I think the right pick here is actually one of the Shoals. Our opponent agrees. Draw for turn. It's a redraw, I guess. Put in Harvest. Non-land. We hit. Okay, so I have an interesting choice here. I can guarantee my ability to Wurm. I think that's just the best thing to do here. I do have to remove 2 7-drops from my deck, but I think we're doing the right thing. So I'm going to start off by gaining 15. We will play a Rider. Blue, green, Neoform, Demon in play, draw 7. Looks like they have Terminate, and I don't have any Pact of Negation in my deck. So now we have to win with this on the stack, and I can't do that. I don't have a land drop for the Veil of Summer either. And I drew the other Griselbrand, which is really awkward. And I cast a Summoner's Pact. So I'm actually just dead. Yeah. Okay, they got us. Alright, so we finished 3 and 2. Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. What did I think of this deck list today? Elven Farsight was fine. I think that it's a card that is a role player, and it's not going to ever be a 10. You're really looking for it to be a 5 or a 6 instead of a 3 or a 4. That's what I think Serum Visions is. And I do think Elven Farsight in this league was just what we needed. It was a green card that exiled the things or got boarded out, but it never stopped us from winning the game, which is what Serum Visions did sometimes. Overall, I don't know how good NeoBrand is in Modern at the moment, but I do think the Gutshot list is the best list. Orcish Bowmasters is out there, and the Gutshot list can answer it, which is pretty meaningful. If you have any ideas on how to improve this deck, put those in the comment section. I'm always trying to innovate and make better decks, so I would definitely be interested. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.